You are now listening to Feeding Off Each Other.
2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of Feeding Off Each Other.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
The number one Feeding Off Each Other podcast in the world. It is Friday. Happy Friday, y'all.
It's Friday.
We don't normally do pods on Friday.
It's true.
This is nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Feels like a party.
You gotta turn that down. That's glitching.
I think it's your computer, not the cord now.
I think it is the computer.
Yeah.
Too many sounds.
Yeah.
You're a good DJ. Jay. Welcome back, everybody. We have an intro. I forgot it. Oh, no. How does it go?
Welcome to Feeding Off Each Other.
A weekly podcast where we feed off the talent, humor, knowledge, and awesome stories of our guests. Nailed it.
And each other.
And each other. Oh, almost nailed it.
Fucked up.
I'm Matt Dennison, and I'm joined, as always, by David Gag Worthy Wiggins.
Gag Worthy?
Is he?
Getting into the lingo.
Maybe. And also joined by Jason Body Yaddy 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 Lucas.
God.
Did you not want me to draw attention to your body?
No, I'm trying to cover it up.
Yeah, with the laptops.
Yeah.
Dave, take us into the fun fact, because we got a lot to talk about.
Okay. Our fun fact of the day is related to our guest, who we haven't introed yet, but it is the origin of the word drag is not 100% clear. But one theory suggests it came from theater in the late 19th century when male actors would portray females and their long skirts or dresses would drag on the floor. The other theory is that it stands for dressed resembling a girl. Have you heard those before?
I have actually, yes. More so the second one, actually. The first one I just learned about recently.
It's a fun one.
It is.
You're
yeah.
like, oh, that makes sense.
It totally does, yeah. I think the acronym like sticks and makes sense, but you know what? We'll take anything.
Should we intro a guest?
Absolutely. Put a
Matt.
name to the voice. Oh, it's me. You put my name on it?
Oh,
Okay.
I think it was just preset that way from last time.
You're killing it.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Today's guest grew up a stone's throw away from us in Richmond, BC. That's a long stone's throw.
Yes.
By the way. And in the last few years has burst onto the scene as one of the top drag performers in Canada after winning Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar in 2017. And in 2021, Kendall strutted her way to the finals of Canada's Drag Race Season 2, where she finished runner-up. Runner-up in? We didn't proofread this thing, hey?
No.
We're happy to welcome Kendall Gender to the show.
Woo, the crowd goes wild.
We have a massive in-studio audience in here.
Thank you.
Of kids.
Yes. Thank you. It's giving talk show fantasy. Am I Wendy Williams? Am I Oprah? We'll find out.
Could go either
Who
way.
would you rather be?
Oh my gosh. I feel like Oprah.
Okay, yeah, that's the right choice.
Yeah. I feel like Wendy Williams had her heyday, but yeah, let's not get into that.
Yeah. Oh, man. She's popular for wrong
Let's be
reasons.
Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give away cars. You're getting a car. You're getting a car. Everybody's getting cars.
No one's getting
toy
cars.
cars.
Just Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheel cars.
Yeah, that's the budget here.
So right away, we were talking about this before the podcast. Your posture is amazing.
Oh, that's an extremely nice compliment. So thank you.
That's incredible. I've never seen someone sit in this chair so proper. Before this, I literally said, I'll try not to slouch.
I think it's a combination of the fact that I'm wearing a corset, and also my posture is something that I've tried to be like cognizant of recently because a very good friend of mine actually brought up my posture when I was doing like a TV stint, and like after I did it, she was like, just make sure that your posture the next time is like a little bit more back, and it was like only a true friend would say that to you, but I actually like I appreciated it, and then ever since then I've always tried to appear a little bit more poised, if you will, because I think naturally I definitely fall like this, but yes,
Yeah.
I try
I guess
really
it's
hard.
like I watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary recently, and it's all bodybuilding. It's all a lot of like posing and stuff, which I feel like is probably strong parallels with drag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. Only a true friend would tell you that your posture's bad. Guys,
Totally.
my posture's been miserable on this show so many times. What's going on?
Clearly you all
It's
hate
because
each other
ours
here.
are.
Yeah, ours are equally as bad.
Ours are equally as bad.
I'm probably sitting the most straight up I ever have right now because of you.
Yeah, I know. I feel like my head's going to get cut off in my camera angle.
Yeah.
Well, lots of a TV experience. Have you done any podcasts?
Yes, quite a few actually, especially in our, sad sister of 2020. I think I did a lot of podcasts, and it's been cool. Kind of like drag right now is so obviously like popular, and everyone's talking about it, like wanting to be around it in different senses. So yeah, podcasts are a very cool thing. I'm not a big consumer of podcasts, if you will, if I'm totally honest with you. I actually don't usually listen to the ones that I do either. So no shade.
Neither do we.
No, you don't? Okay, that's normal. At first I was like, oh shit, should I have said that?
We were there.
A couple people have come off our podcast and been like, hey, that was actually pretty fun. I might listen back to that, and then really enjoyed it.
Right. Okay. Well,
So maybe
dropping hints that I listen to this
Yeah.
one.
yeah, we're gonna move that towards
Check
that
the view
direction.
count.
So what did you do this morning? Because you were already dressed.
I was. I have been up 2 days in a row, actually, super early at like the 6 or 7 o'clock mark doing streams. So yesterday I did one with Apple, which was really cool. And then this morning I did one with a video game called Among Us.
Oh yeah.
Familiar.
I felt like the crowd would know.
Yeah, I haven't
played
played it
it.
once.
I haven't played
couldn't
it.
figure it out, to be honest.
I didn't know what it was, if I'm totally honest with you. But I did some Googling yesterday. But the interview was basically more around like diversity. And then it was just the company putting it on. But it was cool. Yeah. Early morning drag.
So
Oh, and I actually put one of these characters into drag in Photoshop.
there was like mascots there, or
like I edited
Oh,
one
in-
and they put it in the stream.
oh,
Yeah.
I see, I
nice.
see.
She had a long ponytail. She was working it.
Have you guys played this?
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, during like COVID, I think.
It was all the
Okay.
rage.
I never actually played it. I avoided those like stream Zoom parties that people were having.
Right.
I hated them.
Didn't you come to my Zoom birthday party?
No.
Yeah, and he hated it.
No, I actually had it.
Every moment.
I don't remember what it was, but I had a reason not to be. I had I had further engagements, but I was.
What were you possibly
'cause we had
doing during the
so
pandemic?
much going on.
So
It
busy.
might have been 20. No, remember there was like peaks and valleys to it though, where it was like, you can't leave your house, and then it was kind of like, we're like summer 2020. They kind of lifted the veil a little bit, and then they brought it back down.
They're like,
but-
we'd prefer if you didn't, but we know you will.
yeah, they're like, yeah. Yeah,
So
no.
the Apple thing is pretty cool. I thought, did you like sign NDAs? I know these Apple things are pretty can you talk about this fully, or?
Yeah, it was basically just like it was an hour-long stream where we went over like the history of drag, and actually one of the ones that we were talking about, those acronyms and that kind of stuff. So the origins of drag and the history of drag and all this kind of stuff. And it was really cool. It was like people from the Pride committees all over the whole company of Apple. So super sick. Like I really appreciate when these like big, obviously conglomerates take the time to integrate, Pride education in a really cool way. Because we're not always seeing that with companies, especially like in different sort of ways. Like they sort of, like to rainbow wash in certain things. So this was actually really cool, especially from Apple, like one of the biggest companies. I was just like honored that they even knew who I was.
Most companies are like, we put a rainbow on our logo. What else do you want?
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
So what are you wearing for the listeners? We got to visualize this. We got to put an image in their
Okay,
head
should I
right now.
give you ASMR?
Oh, God.
Please.
I'm wearing a pink velvet gown with gloves, with a diamond bodice, and then a pink. Oh yeah, and then I have a pink finger wave wig on with more diamonds on it, and big diamond earrings. I love glitter and diamonds.
Oh, that was
Drag queen is
incredible.
nothing
That was
without some
great.
diamonds.
It's got a real like Marilyn Monroe energy with the kind of
Marilyn
gloves.
Monroe.
Is that
That's
it?
what we're going with. And I also matched the pillow
Yeah.
for the video.
How do you get your hair like this? This
I
is
pay for it.
okay.
Money.
Wealth.
It's so perfect, like the wave that you have.
Thank you.
right
The
there.
the hairstylist is very talented.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Did you have a team of people working on with you today, or?
No, I do my own makeup, and then I put my clothes on myself. But I know, can you believe it? But I purchased all of the things that I am decorated in, and then put them all together. I feel like with drag, it's kind of like a collaboration. You kind of like, I had the idea of what I wanted the hair to look like and what I wanted the costume to look like, but there's just a lot more people that are more talented than me at sewing clothes and doing hair. So I can be beautiful and stunning and then buy the beautiful and stunning things. You see?
So is there a ratio of purchased to created in the closet right now?
For me, it's mostly purchased.
Okay.
Yeah. When I did the design challenges on Drag Race, I was definitely not doing well. I went right to the bottom. I prefer to let other people create.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I think this is one of our burning questions with the show was you guys are back there, you're given the materials, and then so quickly, because there's so much going on in the show, so quickly you're out in the dress, and we wonder, like, did they make it completely?
So it depends on the week, but there are weeks that are like specific design challenges. So you'll get like the fabric and the accoutrements, if you will, and then you can kind of like put together that look, and that is the challenge. But the rest of the stuff, you actually come prepared. So like you'll get a general idea of what the week like theme is going to be, and then you bring those outfits. So sometimes I think we had like 3 design challenges on our season, but the rest of it we had actually brought.
I see.
So is that like you get cast? You're like, yep, you're on the show, and they send you an email of week 1, week 2, week 3, like all the
basically, yeah, but without telling you exactly when it all is. But yeah, they sort of give you like, okay, so you will need something that is polka dot palooza or whatever that looks like. That was really, really great runway week. Yeah. But yeah, so that kind of idea, and then you bring your own stuff or get them made.
Interesting.
I'm sure you've explained this many times. How did you get on the show?
I auditioned. So I auditioned like you would be applying for a role in a movie or a TV show. So it's a very lengthy process, a lot of videos and phone calls and photographs and interviews and all of this kind of stuff. And I actually auditioned for season 1 and then didn't get on, and then auditioned for season 2 and then did. And yeah, that's sort of the process. It's like quite a few months of auditioning and interviews.
Was it
put together the cast?
Was it in person?
It was not. No, it's all done virtually. This was also like right in 2020 as well, which was kind of wackadoodle. But yeah, it was an amazing process. Obviously, that paid off.
At what point did you decide you were going to apply?
Oh, I feel like right when the casting came out, I was like, oh yeah, for us, it's like the Olympics of the career that you're in, right? Like it's really the sort of top thing of your field. So when it came to Canada, we were also excited.
So it was a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer, absolutely.
I mean, it gave you something to look forward to during, the dark times of COVID, being trapped in the house. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of weird when we like first got to set. I think all of us were so used to being like at home alone. So when we saw other people and other like queens, we were like, hello.
When you had friends there, right?
We did, yeah.
And you didn't know they were going to be there?
I had an idea that one was, but one was an actual shock.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been wild.
You couldn't tell anyone, right? Like no friends or family.
No, that is an NDA. Yeah, that's a very strict NDA because they really want to keep the cast and the integrity of the show pretty under wraps.
For sure. What do you say then?
Oh my gosh, what did he say?
What was the excuse?
Everyone, you actually have to think of like a plan or a lie with the people. I think mine was that I was filming a movie. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So I was like filming a movie somewhere else. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I got an opportunity to do that. So it was like easy to kind of, it was like easy enough to lie about. Because they're like, oh yeah, okay, that would make sense. Like, but yeah. You have to
a mayonnaise commercial.
A really long mayonnaise commercial. Yeah.
Documentary.
It's one of those 4-week mayonnaise commercials you're always hearing about.
Budgets are insane these days. Yeah. Have you auditioned for any other shows?
Reality shows?
Yeah. Or was it one in
when I was like 20, I auditioned to be a Much Music VJ.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
There was like the search for the next VJ.
Yeah.
Years ago. Yeah.
Was that Tim Deegan that won it?
Oh, I actually don't know.
I
was
feel like
so
that would have
scarred
been
in
longer than 10 years ago.
That I know. Yeah.
Because I don't think I've watched Much Music in 10 or 15 years.
That was always my dream.
To be a VJ?
Oh my God, I thought that was the coolest.
It was the coolest.
It was
still
the
is.
coolest.
It just whatever equivalent it is. But yeah, I remember I filmed my like audition tape by the Olympic torches, and I was like strutting down. It was really sassy, but I didn't get it.
Aw, that's too bad. You guys have a favorite VJ from the Much Music days? Much Music, is this still around?
It is still around, but I don't think they have like live.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I don't even know what it would be.
Is it a
point.
TV station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you not watch Much Music?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Okay.
I had a phase.
They still have the like area in Toronto. I literally just saw it. But I don't think they have like
Queen
these-
Street.
I haven't had cable for like 7 years or something, so I don't know.
I mean, I gotta go with Rick Campanelli.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
like the OG.
He's
yeah.
the kind of legend.
Yeah.
For sure.
W-
I can't
Hen-
remember what that girl's name. Leah?
Leah.
Yeah, she was
There's
also
a
like
bunch.
What about Sugar?
Iconic.
Isn't she a
Sugar was YTV.
Yeah.
YTV?
And then
Pretty
she was
sure.
in the and then she was in the movie Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
So
And I
randomly.
was like, wait a sec.
Oh, George Strompel.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you got it. You got it.
George Panagopoulos. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually parodied him. Torque Strom Pelly. We made our own character in a thing that
did.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole Much Music sketch. That's true.
Watch it now on YouTube.
I believe it was called Many Music.
Yeah. So that wasn't that long ago that you auditioned for the show, and now life has changed quite a bit.
It really has. Yeah. Honestly, it's like I feel like I was doing drag on a little bit more of a I don't know if I would say casual level, but definitely a different level than I am now. And then as soon as the show came out, it just sort of like catapulted me into this like different stratosphere. Like I travel all over the world. I do campaigns. I get to do shows. I celebrate Pride for like 9 or 10 months straight, like just in different cities. And like, yeah, it's so cool. It truly is like the dreams that I had when I was like 11 or 12, dancing around in my parents' living room, making them watch me lip sync to Britney Spears. It all really, really came together for me. Now I'm doing the exact same thing at 32.
Yeah, that's funny.
So before show, was drag the career, or was that kind of what you were aiming for?
I feel like I was doing drag more as a hobby. I was still working. Right when I auditioned for Drag Race, I was actually getting a degree. So I was in school, like literally getting my bachelor's. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take 1 semester off to film Drag Race. And here we are, quite a few years later. And I'm a dropout. But it seems to be working out okay.
Seems to be
Can
working out.
we shout out Kwantlen Polytechnic University? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Kwantlen?
You really did your research.
You have a Wikipedia page.
Okay, wow.
It's on the
I'm very
Wikipedia?
impressed. It literally was, yeah. Give it
I
up for
don't-
Kwantlen.
And also, there's some excitement because you're from Richmond. It's
Yes.
where we grew up. I lived there for 27 years.
Oh, no. Wow.
Yeah.
Jason,
We grew
you
up in
have a
Steveston.
personal connection.
Yeah, that's true. I think one of your childhood friends.
Who is that?
Can I name them? I can
I don't
probably
know.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Depends what
We
the
can-
story
we'll
is, I
bleep it.
guess.
It's fine. Wesley.
What?
Yeah, is cousins with my current fiance.
Oh,
current fiance.
God.
Current.
Okay, I just want to also say that that's like sometimes people are like, oh my God, I know a friend of a friend of a
Yeah.
friend. But this one is actually a very, very, very close family friend of
Yeah.
mine. Our moms are like literally best friends. We grew up together. Like I've known him for as long as I've been alive. That's so strange. That's a really good connection.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is like
I'm very impressed.
4 degrees of separation.
That
maybe.
one's really good.
We
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have to name drop it. To
Good
get you
friends,
out there,
Jason.
which
Good
is-
friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, family soon.
Yeah, family. Good family.
Currently.
Wait, which Wesley?
Not
Snipes.
Robinson.
No.
Oh, okay.
I won't say the
Snipes,
last
did
name.
you say?
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
That one wasn't on my Wikipedia page, but I am really good friends with the
Okay,
Snipes
no, he's
family.
in
Good friends with Blade. Some
But yeah,
legal
it's such a
troubles.
small world.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. Huh. Fascinating. The more you know.
The more you know.
And are you okay talking about Richmond and your like childhood, growing up in Hamilton, all this?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, curious. Hamilton has always been like that area in Richmond where I didn't know if it was actually Richmond or not. It's so far out there. It is technically Richmond, right?
Yes.
It is
Technically, I
Richmond.
grew up like in like the 5 and Canby area.
Oh, no way.
Wesley is from Hamilton. Not that we
Yeah.
just read all of his details.
Doxed.
Address?
Good.
Social insurance number.
I guess technically my dad lived a little bit more near Queensboro. Yeah.
Okay,
growing up.
I
So
see.
yeah, you're actually not wrong.
I don't know where the Hamilton thing came out. I think Jason.
No, you're
mentioned
actually
it.
not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well-
This is so many years ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
I grew up.
But yeah, I mean, Richmond is obviously a smaller town, and I think that like, you know, growing up as a queer person, and in my experience, like sometimes you're only surrounded by the people that are in your like immediate circle. You know, like it's just the people that you go to high school with or live near you. And it's yeah, I mean, it was not a bad place to live out or to grow up by any means, but it was a little bit closed off, I guess. There wasn't like tons going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what do you remember what you got up to as a kid? For
Oh, a lot of bad stuff.
Bad
I
stuff?
was a really bad kid.
No way.
Yeah. I was a really bad kid. for sure. Me and Wesley in high school were actually horrible.
Go on.
Yeah.
So wait, you were at 5 in Canby. So did you go to McNeely?
I did. Wow.
I went to McNeely.
Did you actually?
In kindergarten and grade 1. I lived on 7 Road. I lived on the Cranberry Fields.
Okay.
And I had Miss Taylor as my kindergarten grade 1 teacher.
Oh my gosh.
I remember Miss Taylor.
Yeah, that one doesn't ring a bell, but yeah, I went there actually all from K to 7.
Oh, really?
Holy wow.
And
Richmond.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to put 2 and 2 together in my head. I don't think it was you, but when I was in kindergarten,
There was one other gay person.
No, there was.
You guys know each other, right?
yeah. You have those meetings every month.
Yeah, there's a group chat, right?
Yeah.
There was someone called in a bomb threat at Canby High School.
Oh wow, that was very different than what I thought you were gonna say.
They're completely different.
Okay.
That wasn't you, was it?
It was actually.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, well,
Thank you for bringing.
I
that
remember
Very
that.
bad kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, very bad kids. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah. Well, people also
Strike
said
that
that.
from the record.
Wait, was it?
Drag queens have enough black right now. We don't
Can't tell.
need terrorists adding to the bill. Yeah.
Oh goodness. People would. I was always bothered growing up in Richmond because people would claim that Richmond was boring. And I always felt like you're just a boring person if you think Richmond's boring. There's things to do. We're having fun. Were you bored as a kid? It seems like you had things to do.
Yeah, I feel like I made my own entertainment for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't say there was like tons to do. Like we hung out in like King George Park and like binge drank, like as you do.
And you don't do that anymore? Is
I
that-
don't.
Oh.
No, I don't.
That's my weekend plan.
Yeah, I'll see you at KGP.
Strikes it up to the calendar.
I love the lingo.
So let's talk about your the genesis of your career. First
Good
time
word.
doing drag. Genesis, yeah, good word.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, growing up, obviously, as we were kind of touching on, like I was always quite a like feminine kid. So I would always wear my mom's, pearls and hats and that kind of stuff. So I was kind of performing like really quickly in my life. So by the time I actually turned legal and started going out and, going to like gay clubs or queer clubs, drag sort of like fell naturally into like the person that I already was. So yeah, I kind of just like saw a drag performance once and I was just like so enthralled with it, that I basically went out in drag, like very quickly after that. And, and like begged the person who was putting on the show to like, let me perform one time. And I did it. And that was in 2014. Now, here we are almost 10 years later.
Wow.
Still cross-dressing. Can you believe it?
Do you remember where that was?
I do. It was at the Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Cabaret?
Cabaret.
Oh, yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah. And I performed Beyonce Ring the Alarm because I was mad at my ex-boyfriend at the time. And I wore red lingerie. Some things change and some things don't.
Were you nervous at all, though, in that performance? Or did it feel like quite natural?
It felt liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt really liberating. I find drag to be very empowering for me personally, because I sort of treat it like armor in certain ways, because I find it like it's my superhero cloak. So when I finally got that opportunity to like celebrate that side of me in such a beautiful way, it was really, really, really powerful. And I never looked back.
Yeah, I guess like, do you get recognized not in drag ever?
Now, yes,
Okay.
because of the show,
Right.
because we're so much in and out of drag. Prior, no, people would walk right by me on the street and have no idea who I was, even if I had met them like 10 times.
Right.
But now it's a little bit different.
That makes sense.
Now it's like a niche celebrity of sorts, especially like obviously in Vancouver and within Canada. People will like ask me for pictures in the supermarket. Yeah.
What are your fans like?
Oh, I mean, I think that they're all absolutely amazing. Like, I think that anyone that would take the time to, come up to me or had the time to connect with me, whether it was on TV or at a show or whatever, like, I just think it's so cool. Like, because I get excited about people that I'm fans of, like different artists and different creatives and that kind of stuff. So I know what that's like. So there's never a time where I would like say no to a picture or anything. But everyone's always usually like 95% of people in real life are super respectful. But I mean, of course, you have the odd 5%.
Do you ever have the odd person crying when it's so excited to see you? Or
Yeah, people definitely do cry, for sure. Especially at like a meet and greet or something like that. I think sometimes people just get like overwhelmed when they've, saw someone on TV or really like related to them, and then it's them in face to face. But yeah, I've definitely had people cry. Sometimes it makes me cry too. It's just so nice. I'm a Cancer, so I cry a lot. It doesn't take much.
Me too.
Yeah, want to cry right now?
My yearly cry.
When's the last time you've been starstruck? If ever.
Oh my gosh. Probably last week in Toronto. I did a show with Got Mick from Drag Race, and I just like thought they were so cool. It was Got Mick and Gigi Good, and I just like I had never really like interacted with them, and I just thought they were so cool. And I'm such a fan of drag, so like when I get to meet drag legends and that kind of stuff, it excites me.
You didn't cry?
I didn't cry.
No,
I did not cry.
You held it in.
I think the only person that I would ever cry meeting is Beyonce. Sometimes when I think about Beyonce, I cry.
All right, Beyonce, you can come out. The bathroom.
Actually, you want to hear a really stupid and ridiculous story that I actually can't believe I'm going to tell you?
Yeah, this is what it's all about.
Okay, so a little while ago, I got invited to the Shania Twain concert. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, why not? So I went to the concert, and as she came out...
On the motorcycle.
Literally. Well, as she came out, I started to cry because I was like, I got so excited thinking about when I was going to go back to the venue and see Beyonce in September. Because I got so excited for everyone in there, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like people's, like, to Shania Twain is like how I am to Beyonce. And I literally started bursting out into tears. And my friend that I was with was like, what the fuck? I didn't know you liked Shania Twain that much. I was like, I actually don't.
You were just twaining for the Beyonce show,
like,
right?
literally. Like, I pictured myself in September at the same venue seeing Beyonce, and I got emotional.
That's so funny.
It's so sad.
In September? It's September, right? Did you buy tickets?
I've secured the tickets like a long time ago.
We gotta try the last minute ticket thing and see if we can get in on the floor for like $100.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could.
Oh my God.
I mean, the rest of the tickets were so expensive, so they probably got to give away some.
How was the Shania concert?
It was kind of mid.
She's coming back again so soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like
that there was elements of it that were really cool, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think it was fine.
Well, she lost her voice,
and that for
sure.
So
and she's coming back from that still.
It was drag. For sure. Like there was a lot of lip syncing, and she just kind of was just like vibing. Like she didn't really seem that. Like,
Just vibing.
I don't know. It seems like I'm hating on Shania Twain. Actually, like I don't hate her.
Yeah. That's all good.
But that's my honest answer.
Yeah, fair enough. She
was good. Like the end, like the Man, I Feel Like a Woman. That was like
that's iconic. The encore.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
nice.
iconic.
Yeah.
That was really iconic. It seemed like that was she was the most like passionate about.
Did she wear her original cheetah print?
She did. Yeah. Which was so sick. She looks amazing.
Yeah. What music video is that from? The cheetah? That don't impress me much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the real original costume from the music video at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you try it on?
That's really cool.
No, it's in like a glass booth or like box, I should say.
I wish you tried it on.
Yeah. You'd look fantastic in it.
We'd have so much to talk about.
I would feel like a woman.
Now, earlier, I said that David was gag worthy. And I don't know if I'm using that term wrong, if I'm just wrong in general, if David is not in fact gag worthy, but let's segue on into some lingo because we need to learn some words from the drag community. Dave, you were confused what gag worthy even means.
Yeah, I can.
To me, that means beautiful, awesome, amazing, extraordinary.
Okay.
Stunning, incredible, gorgeous,
Perfect.
show-stopping.
Yes.
It makes you like you're so excited you gag.
Okay. I went in another direction, but we'll
There's
keep
also
moving.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also that element
okay.
of it. Yeah.
That's the
And
first
that
version's like the
comes at the later
parental.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's
Only
the
on
Patreon.
OnlyFans.
Feeding off each other after dark.
After hours. Yeah.
Filling up on each other.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
the Chuthers will love that. We call our fan base the Chuthers.
Chuthers.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like the
straight
feeding
lingo
off
that I don't know.
Feeding off each other. The Chuthers.
Each other.
Wordplay, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't even
I get
know if
it.
it's wordplay. It's just
It's just
Yeah.
condensing.
That's the only thing we could think of at the time.
We came up with it live on air.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. A real landmark moment.
Impressive.
There's a Canadian heritage moment of it, I think. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but some lingo. Some lingo is I want to walk away with like a few good new terms that I can use.
Okay.
In daily life.
I guess you could say if you have like some gossip, you would say like, "Oh, I have some tea."
Yeah,
Have you heard that one before?
Absolutely. We use
Okay.
that a lot. Jason and I love
Okay, well,
gossip.
I don't know how layered you are into the lingo. Like how niche I need to get.
What about the opposite of gag worthy? When I like, there's. Was that someone getting an email?
I got an email.
I wonder what read it out loud for the class.
Okay.
Are you passing notes, Jason?
Let's see. Jeff from Calendly.
Oh.
It's Jeff from Calendly, and he's eager to tell us about the latest in scheduling automation from his company.
This is one of the most impressive interviews I've ever experienced in my life.
Delete that. Block and delete. Oh, well, there's a word that Brooke and I have been using. It's not. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not dead. It's like one word. You just. Brooke, chime in if you know it.
It's the opposite of gag worthy.
Yeah,
When
it's not
something's
dead.
when something's not good, or I don't know. Anyways,
What is it?
prison. That's
Prison.
it. When something is not gag worthy, prison.
Yeah.
That thing needs to go to jail. Prison.
Yeah,
Is that?
you could say jail immediately.
Jail.
Oh,
Jail is
jail.
good.
Okay.
Jail.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with those two words. I'll practice those.
The ones you already knew you're good with.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to
You're
learn
doing
some more.
I don't know them.
Okay. Well, jeez. Well, anyways, let's talk about the show because we've been following and well, I've been watching drag. I guess they're both Drag Race. Canada versus the world.
Yeah, they're both Drag Race Canada or Canada's Drag Race.
It's all the
What is
same.
the official name? Is it RuPaul's?
No, it
Race?
would be Canada's Drag Race.
Canada's Drag Race. Okay. Yeah, we've been following along, and it's just amazing how good of a performer you are. Like it makes sense that when you were a kid, you were performing young. Because I mean, I'm a few episodes in, and it's in hindsight, perfect 2020 hindsight. You're like,
Not this lip sync.
You're a way better performer than a lot of the people on the
Oh,
show.
that's
in my
very nice.
opinion.
And
you
this
just have
is-
natural talent.
Also, the friend that told me I had bad posture. My best friend in the whole world, Cynthia Kiss.
That's awesome.
Looking back at
Context.
the show, I imagine you're proud of everything you accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's such a moment in time. It comes out week after week after week, but you film it all within a couple of weeks, right? So everything that happens is really, accelerated and fast, and then it sort of lives on forever. But it's so cool. I think it's a perfect glimpse into like who I was at the time that I filmed. And, there was definitely mistakes that were made. Absolutely. Like the fit of the dress, absolutely horrible. But like it's all learning. I think I've become way more confident as a drag performer and as a human being after doing the show, because I don't know, you're just put under such a like intense microscope, and it's very cool to have it like sort of live on forever.
Yeah. Are you ever you look back and you're saying like the fit of the dress, but is that because you only had 2.5 hours to like completely?
No, it's because I'm bad at sewing.
Fair enough.
I love the positive spin on that.
Yeah, well, just with a lot of reality shows, right? You get so many of those armchair experts that can chime in on the comments and just try and tear you apart.
100%.
And you're like, no, but you don't understand. Like, we had to do all this stuff.
Well, I've always said that it's a lot easier to critique Drag Race than it is to compete on Drag Race.
For sure.
That's a for sure. And I think the difference is that we went from being just like quote unquote normal people or normal whatever, and then to being put on a TV show, and then all of a sudden something changes where people no longer necessarily view you as a human being. They start to view you as a character. So they start to view you like, I don't know, Carrie Bradshaw or Ross from Friends or something like that. And then they are totally okay with saying whatever they want about you, good or bad. And it's a really interesting sort of like shift that I found like right away. And I used to I used to chime into like some of the more comments and read them, but now I never, ever, ever read any of the comments. The only time I'll see a comment is if someone writes it on my own social media. But for stuff like this, I would never go read through the YouTube comments, even good or bad, because I think it drives you crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And Beyonce's not sitting around reading comments about
Oh,
her
God, no.
performances.
No, exactly.
You know?
Shania was listening to this podcast, though. She's pretty choked.
Yeah.
She's no longer a chother. That's
like,
interesting, though. Did you kind of have to navigate that yourself, or did you have friends along the way that, like, I don't know. I feel like when you're thrust into the spotlight like that, all of a sudden there's an adjustment on how.
Yeah, I think it was actually a decision that like me and my partner made. Like we just kind of sort of sat down when the show was coming out and we were like, okay, we can't read anything. Like anything, because it just like it really, really, really screws with your head, and I think it can screw with your mental health a lot too, good or bad, right? Because if you're needing the validation, people telling you that you're perfect and gorgeous and good at everything, then that's the only way that you can fill up your own cup. And then when someone says, "Oh, you're horrible, you're ugly, you're bad at living," or whatever, then it's sort of the same thing. So I feel like it's better to just get joy from yourself.
And you can get 100 good comments and one bad one, and
that sticks.
The bad one, it sticks. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing because it like in our world, in our YouTube world, we want to read the comments because we want to receive feedback on what we're doing,
right?
And make sure that we know that we're like creating things that they enjoy, but at the same time, it's bad for your mental health because you get that bad comment and it sticks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Especially when you agree with it.
Yeah.
Especially you're like,
sometimes they are.
I mean, sometimes they're right.
Sometimes they're right, and you're like, I know.
It hurts because it's true.
Oh yeah,
It hurts because it's
sometimes
true.
sometimes the mean things that they write are actually funny. Sometimes they make me laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, okay.
At least there's like an art to that, you know.
It's quippy sometimes.
Yeah, you're like, you nailed me.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the hardest part of filming the show?
I think being away from my partner, to be honest. Like we had been living together for a while. It was also obviously in 2020. So we were together all the time. And so much of my, just like joy that I feel around life and especially around like drag, we're very like artistically connected. Like we film a lot of stuff together and, helps with outfits and that kind of stuff. So doing this alone, it was just kind of like hard. And I was just like, although yes, I had friends there, but it's isolating. You're just like in a hotel room and
you can't vent to your friend on the
vent to
show
anyone.
like you would vent to your partner.
No. You can't vent, and you can't really even talk like when you're not on camera. They want everything to be recorded, right?
Oh.
It's a reality show.
Yeah.
So that's also like a different element of it.
Well, how do they make sure you're not talking?
There's something called hard ice. So it's like they just say that when you're not allowed to communicate with each other and then you're not allowed to talk. But there's also something called soft ice, which I don't know if is like a Drag Race specific thing. So I don't know if it's like within all film and TV. But yeah, then they say soft ice, which means you can talk, but not about anything serious. So you could talk about like the weather or the VMAs or whatever that looks like.
Your favorite VJ.
Yeah. But then you can't actually talk about like serious things.
So you're talking to your friend and
you're never
getting
together unless you're in you're also never like you're in your hotel room, you're escorted to and from set. Like you're never hanging out in like a communal space unless you're in the workroom or here.
Which cameras are rolling?
Which cameras are rolling anyways.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering, does someone yell out hard ice and then oh wow,
yeah,
we could use this because we always say save it for the pod, don't talk to me.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you got
hard
that
ice.
for me.
Hard ice.
And that's not even drag race. That's not just like drag lingo.
No, that's just I'm learning TV lingo.
Yeah, we're gonna use that one. That's
I
great.
love that.
So I noticed in the interviews they often end with like a quippy zinger or one-liner.
Yeah.
Are those fed to you?
I feel like you do a lot of the interviews and then they sort of like splice it together throughout the show.
Right.
So that's why they sometimes just like take funny things that are sometimes out of context, but it works for the thing. But I don't think they're not too fed to you. Sometimes it's like they'll give you an explanation of like what you have to talk about.
Right.
Like today I'm sewing a dress and but they don't really like tell you. It's not written for you.
And are you ever like, but are you doing like multiple takes of you're like, and that's why it was spicy. And then like it goes to like a jalapeno costume and like, are you doing the like spicy pun multiple times to like nail it?
Yeah.
Because they're always like really good. You're like, yeah, they did that more than once.
Yeah.
Have you ever been upset in a way that the editors have like taken something out of context and used it that kind of just didn't work?
Honestly, no.
Now we're getting a call.
I muted my notifications.
Is the Calendly
Yeah.
guy calling you now?
We had one rule.
We had. How is this even possible?
You gotta turn off your Wi-Fi.
All right, we're done.
You should let me answer on FaceTime.
That would be awesome.
It's Wesley.
Yeah,
Is someone trying to get into your front door? Is that why?
yeah, and I'm destroying them by declining it all.
Yeah, if they call twice in a short amount of time, it'll go through.
Yeah, that's why. That's
Most
why.
unprofessional show out there. This
Yeah.
is definitely the most unprofessional show you've ever been on.
To be fair, his caller ID when someone calls his front door says Buzz Aldrin, which is a good pun.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
That made it worth it.
Yeah. Matt, you had a question
I
before.
forget what the question was.
Did I have a question?
You did.
We just keep
Actually,
watching like Big Al over here. He pulled up a lip sync. Kendall Gender versus Cynthia Kiss.
That is our lip sync.
Are we watching this? Are we watching this?
I haven't watched this since it came
Let's
out.
watch it.
Do you mind?
You can
I don't mind at
commentate.
all. I don't know what version this is because there is some. Yeah, this happens.
We got some volume there. Just a little bit of
Just a
volume.
little hit.
So for some context, this is my best friend in the world.
And you've been put against each other.
And we've been put against each other.
All right. That is a copyrighted song, right?
Yeah.
I noticed.
And my dress rips all the way up to expose my Barbie crotch. Because I'm so bad at sewing. I didn't mean for it to rip that much.
Oh,
Would have never
okay.
noticed.
Well, I see it. My fake boob also falls out. It's quite intense.
Was there a blur right there, real quick?
Oh my goodness.
It's
Look at you.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It is.
Wow.
Did that air?
That aired.
Oh wow!
You're allowed- yeah,
Just
you can put
uncensored,
that.
like-
I mean, it's not a real boob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not a real boob.
a lot of people. Wow. Oh, I
Wow,
love
I
that.
haven't watched that in so long.
So,
That's so funny.
you mustn't be noticing the stuff is happening. Are you just like push through,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Always.
was like, at this point, what can I do? My dress is ripped completely open. My fake boob has fallen out. Like the next thing I know, I'm sure my wig is gonna fall off. Like at that point, it's just like I'm just trying to give like what's in my body and like show that I like deserve to last another week. And that's
That's
what
like your
happened.
Janet Jackson moment. Was
Very
that
that.
Janet?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Nipplegate.
What
Yeah.
like what are the lip sync battles like? Because I'm trying to imagine the logistics of the filming of it. Are they like okay, all quiet on set,
Yeah.
some dead silence, and go?
That's it. And that you only do it once. Like there's no editing or anything to it. It's like whatever. Like you see, whatever happens.
Right. So is your heart rate just like?
Oh my god, it's like the craziest performance ever. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
It's,
there
like, so
any
stressful.
prep before you go into it?
You would know the song.
And
That would be it.
how do they know that you know the song? Is
Well, they basically like you learn a bunch of songs.
Okay.
That like could potentially be lip sync. So if like you happen to be in the, but you don't know when it's gonna happen. You just have to learn like 10 or 15, however many it is, like a bunch of songs when you like first get there.
are you good with lyrics?
Yes.
You're fantastic with lyrics, obviously.
Good with lyrics, not so good with keeping fake prosthetic breasts inside dresses. But-
Hey, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses.
Hey, it's a lip sync, not a breast sync. You know.
So true. So true.
Oh my goodness. Have you? When was the last lip sync you've done? Was it this morning or?
Oh no, it was not this morning. This morning was just a conversation. Last time I lip sync was on Sunday in
Sunday?
Seattle.
In Seattle.
Yeah, for Seattle Pride.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yes.
And was that as a part of a group show or?
Yeah, it was just it was just me up there dancing around, and everything stayed in place, which was nice.
And is there
I've learned
choreo-
so much.
Is there choreography or are you?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. The one on Sunday was just me, like doing my little dancey dance, and then yeah, sometimes if I have like backup dancers and that kind of stuff, then yeah, it would be all choreographed. Yeah.
Well, is there maybe another video on YouTube that we can watch? Something that you're particularly proud of, a lip sync or a moment that we can play back?
Oh,
Like, is there like a go-to video that you like, you show like your family or whatever? Like, hey, here you go. Let's
oh my
gather
god,
around,
I don't know
watch
that I
this.
show my family. I like
No?
my finale, my finale song from Drag Race. No, not that one. It would be verse. It's like the final verse that we had. We had to like make our own rap. I feel like this was kind of like a viral moment for me. Yeah, this one. I love this one. This is like my proudest thing that I did on the show.
I'm a West Coast diva.
Just play it with us. Audio, we can fix it later.
In her bodysuit, I remain unfazed, give myself a 2. Kenny Jen looking like a slice. Walk into the room and you know I look nice. Tell him I like my neck, how I take my coffee. Ice.
Oh, yes.
Double, and my cup
So
always
good.
has its fill. I'm the queen to put my face on yo $20 bill.
Hey, yeah, it became a little video on TikTok, and there's like a video of it where it's just my verse like on loop. And it was so cool because like obviously the lip sync that I did with Cynthia was like quite a mess. So it was actually really cool to like come back and do this and be like, no, when I have like the right mental state and I have like the time to actually like do what I do, this is what I do.
Yeah.
The verse kind of went viral, and people always like sing it to me whenever they see me at like meet and greets and stuff.
Have you
which is
seen
really cool.
people do the same dances on TikTok? Or people?
Oh, I have seen people recreate the verse, yeah, but not the exact same dance. But I've seen people have like their iced coffee because that's one of the lines, and they like do it in the video, and like, yeah, it's been cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So after the show wraps, are you like in a cool down? Are you just like, what happened the
Yeah,
last 2
kinda.
weeks? And like, are you burnt out at all on drag? Are you like, I don't want to do this like for a month?
You know, it was, yeah, for me, actually, when we came back, it was like leading into the summer. So there was really not a lot of like downtime. I think I maybe took like a couple of weeks off, but like I was also like I said, I was a student before I went on the show. So like I had to work, like I had to go right back to work. Like I was doing drag all the time and trying to make money and pay back all the costumes and that kind of stuff. And pay back my parents that lent me money. And like, yeah, it's there wasn't too much of a chill time, for sure.
They lent you money to go on the show, or oh wow,
Because it costs a lot.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
You're
'Cause you
bringing
have to,
all
like-
the outfits and
Yeah.
all the makeup and
That's like something that, yeah, it's a bit of a shock sometimes for people that get on the show, because they're like, oh my gosh, like you really have to spend a good chunk of change if you can't obviously sew and create everything yourself. Yeah.
So you have to. They don't provide any of the dresses, or you don't have like a little budget for the dresses. You have to bring stuff on before you even know what the
Yeah,
challenges
some
are
of the
gonna be?
costumes in the challenges are given to you,
Okay.
but the actual like runways, yeah, it's sort of up to you.
So well, it's great that you have supportive parents.
Very lucky.
Cutting you a
yes, very
check or
lucky.
giving you
Yeah,
cash?
absolutely. Yes, I was very blessed in that sense.
Yeah, that's great. Well, so what is it like? What are the living conditions like? Are you pampered when you're off set? Do you have a nice?
Honestly, yeah, you're super well taken care of. It's
Yeah.
such a good situation. You have like they call them queen care, which is like people that take care of you and like bring you the food and Gatorade whenever you need, and and they'll bring you back to your hotel. They drive you everything. It's a really like well-oiled machine in that sense. It is really it doesn't feel like dark and twisted by any means. Like they really, really, really do take care of you as if you're like it's the full star treatment, to be honest, when you're on the show, because you're a cast member, right? They treat you as if you are like a lead in a television show.
And the better you're treated, the better you can perform, right? Like the more
Totally
comfortable
Yeah.
you are.
and then everything that goes wrong is just up to you.
Yeah, then it's your fault.
That's your fault.
Exactly. So is there now this group from cast members of all the seasons that kind of like, are you in this family now of where you can kind of like have a group chat and like relate to each other? Or?
Yeah, I feel like not necessarily a group chat, but I do think that there's a huge parallel between anyone who's been on the show, because within the Canadian drag scene, it's obviously smaller, especially in comparison to like the US, and then even smaller again, the people who have been on the show. So there's definitely like a camaraderie there. And it's kind of cool. Like, I feel like once the show wraps and kind of like goes on, then it's just kind of like whatever happened on the show, like it doesn't like weigh as heavy on you. You're like, oh my God, like that went wrong or whatever. Like, it's kind of just like, oh my God, we were on the show.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't really matter like how you placed or how this challenge went, whatever. We're all just kind of like sisters or brothers or each other's. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's it like spending so much time with people you're in direct competition with? I mean, you're trying to be friends, you're trying to be sisters, brothers,
On the show
chubbers.
or after?
During the show.
Okay. I think during the show, I don't know. It's a friendly competition for sure, right? Like, especially like I was saying, we were also just like excited to be there because we were in such a weird mental state being in 2020. But I think it's a friendly competition for sure. And the thing about the show is that there's certain things that some people are really good at, and there's certain things that other people are like bad at, good at. And then so everyone, if you get the opportunity, usually gets a chance to like shine. Like that week, for example, that crazy lip sync, I was in the bottom for a design challenge. And then the next week I actually won because I did like a stand-up comedy roast. And I was the winner that week. So that was my skill set. It's like hosting and talking, I guess. So
I
that
haven't
was really
seen
cool.
that yet. I want to watch that. Is that on YouTube?
I think so, yeah.
Pull it up.
Oh, sorry, spoiler. It came out a few years ago, though.
No spoiler.
I think it would be roast.
Well, yeah, I asked how it's like spending that much time with people you're in competition with because they edit moments together where it seems like it's pretty tense and you guys are, bickering over whatever.
Yeah.
But the power of editing and sound effects and all that, I just wonder, do they actually hate each other's guts right now? Or
No,
is it just
no.
chill? It sounds like it's maybe a little bit more friendly in
For
real
sure.
life. That's
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, there's definitely like a sisterly bond there.
That's great.
I think it'd be the first one. Not that video, but it'd be like with Emma to the left. There you go.
Oh, wait.
There, that's me.
Oh, it's a short.
You know that this week I actually won the mini challenge? It was this really intense acting challenge where I had to pretend to actually know who the fuck you were when they said you were a judge this week. And scene. And hello, Wendy Williams. So happy to see you. Oh, my goodness, I mean Amanda Brugel, my bad. I am just so happy that you took time out of your busy schedule of creating a show that only 50-year-old white women actually watch to be with us today. Speaking of 50-year-old white women, hi, Brad. Oh my. When we were getting an explanation about this whole roast, they were like, the roast is gonna be about the icon, the legend, the star, the queen of the north. And I, like everyone, assumed that meant Priyanka. But no.
There's so many
Emma,
elements
Emma-
to drag. Like, what is your favorite part? I'm sure it's everything. It's performing, but
Hosting is definitely my favorite part.
hosting.
Which is why I think I excelled in that specific week. I love hosting events. I love being able to talk to people, audiences. I just think that's such a way to relate to people in a very beautiful way. And I love the conversation aspect of drag. I just think it's very, very cool.
You also get to be in control.
Yeah.
Which I can imagine is fun. Whereas I guess you're in control in all the aspects, but you're just manipulating the room and you get to bring the people out.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I find it so fun. And I love going to a drag show with a good host who's chatty and having fun with everyone. So I like to do that.
How often are you performing at shows now, would you say?
Oh, multiple days a week.
Multiple days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And that you're saying kind of everywhere. That could be anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's actually sometimes can be a little bit sad because it's very infrequently in Vancouver.
Right.
As of lately. It's basically all across the country and the States now we're moving into and even the UK and that kind of stuff. So it's everywhere. But I get to be home for the next couple of weeks, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are there places are there places where you're like, oh, I don't know what the crowd's going to be like. It could be a different country or a different part of the world,
Totally.
and you don't know how to gauge it. Is there any place that's surprised you where they're like, holy shit, they came out, this is awesome?
I always think it's the smaller towns in Canada that
Yeah.
always really shock me. I did something in Lethbridge, Alberta, which was one of the coolest prides ever.
Yeah?
And people were so enthusiastic and it was so engaging and everyone was so dope. So stuff like that, I think that kind of stuff is so cool. When you don't necessarily, it's not the biggest city or whatever, but then people are just so there for you and the crowds are so
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think are some misconceptions of drag?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think right now we're in a really precarious social climate based on people's opinions of drag and where drag should and shouldn't be. And I think that's a huge misconception, because I have heard so many times that people are the drag shouldn't be for, in all ages settings and that kind of stuff. And I'm I understand where you're coming from if you have a very specific lens of drag, 100%. Do I think that every drag queen is appropriate to do an all ages show? Absolutely not. Do I also think that every pop star is an appropriate singer to perform at an all ages show, or every movie is appropriate for every kid? No, of course not. But to say that like gender and sexuality and the queer identity should be taken out of a kid's life, to me that is ridiculously stupid, because I have been queer and knew that I was queer since I was 6 years old. I promise you, any queer person knows their identity. Exactly what that looks like changes for everyone. But it's ridiculous to say that like those two things can't equate with one another. So why on earth are you trying to take away a kid's experience or a youth's experience for relating to something that they understand, that they want to be around, because you don't understand it, or you haven't taken the time to understand it? You know, why, when I was in high school, did I have to meet, you know, sports players from UBC or whatever that is? I didn't care about that.
Right.
Why is it that we are not allowing our youth to experience something that they're interested in? Like, for me, it's like, it's ludicrous. Like, and it pisses me off so much because I just think it's so harmful, because like the more that you feel alienated, especially as a queer individual, and you don't feel as if anyone is like you, that's when you feel alone. And that's when you have life or death situations. That's the misconception that I would like to spread away from drag.
No, that's completely fair.
Yeah.
Well, we asked you your first time performing drag. Do you remember your first time going to a show?
I do, actually, yes. It was the same show that I ended up doing a few weeks later.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was pretty quick turnaround then.
Oh, yeah, I begged. I like forced them to put me in it. Yes. And that person that put me in drag actually became my drag mother, and a very good friend of mine over the years. Yeah.
So what age were you then?
When I first went to a drag show, probably 24, I guess. Or 23 maybe.
So you wish you could turn back the dial and visit it, you know, see it much earlier in your life? Or
100%. 100%. I think that if there was a way to experience an identity younger, I think it would have saved me a lot of sadness. You know? I actually got to perform in Richmond, funny enough. Speaking of childhood, I got to perform in Richmond a few years ago.
Where?
Yeah. It was at the it was like by Richmond Center. I don't know, it was some hall or something.
Okay.
But it was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was a very like full circle moment. But yeah, I definitely think that I don't think I met another queer person until I was like older, like until I was maybe in high school. And like, yeah, I make that joke like, oh, one other gay person, but it was very that. Like it was like one other gay person who like went to a different school in Richmond. And that was sort of my like, that's all I like identified. And it can be very alienating.
For sure.
You know? And like, what's the difference between, you know, someone in high school going to a age appropriate drag show than them going to see, I don't know, a singer on stage or a princess at Disneyland? To them, it's all the same. It's just costumes.
It's fun. It's like fun, right?
It's supposed to be fun.
It's super fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
It's fun. It's happy. It's lighthearted. Like,
yeah. And I hate that there's like this sort of like intersection conversation around all of these like dark things and drag for some reason. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know where this conversation came from. I don't know how they got intertwined with each other, but there's no evidence of drag queens doing inappropriate things. Like if you Google it, I promise you're not going to find it. You know?
I think it just comes from fear of the unknown.
Totally.
A lot of, and it's a lot of like the sort of Christians and
For sure.
religious people. And I think what they're afraid of too is they're afraid of, you know, this sort of indoctrination, which
Totally.
I don't think is real. Like, you know, my great uncle was a drag queen.
Oh.
And so I was like aware of it, and I never saw him do it, but because he died when I was pretty young, but there were like photos, and so it was a thing I was aware of, but I wasn't like, that's what I'm gonna do, because I wasn't that kind of person.
This is what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So you're not shifting someone's mind 180. You're kind of like showing an avenue
100%.
to people that might identify with it. So,
And
I think it's some Christian people too that, or not even Christian, but you know, conservatively minded people that think that their kid's literally going to get switched.
100%.
Like a dial is going to be turned.
And I promise you that would never happen. Like, and I think it's also okay to have the idea for some reason people feel like we're like forcing this like lifestyle or this experience on them. And I'm like, there's no way that I would ever do that. And like, it's literally okay if it's not for your family, and it's okay for it to not be okay for your kid. That's totally fine. Like, did I love doing sports when I was younger? No. Did I do sports literally every single week? Yes. But that's what I did when I was younger. And it's like, there's no difference, right? Like it's an organized group activity for people that are interested in this thing.
For sure.
So,
do you feel now, obviously you've hit a certain level of fame, do you have a platform per se, do you feel like the pressures to, I don't know, be like a role model, or are you accepting of it and you're like, I'm stoked I can be like this person to help deliver this message?
100%. I always, I love that I even have that opportunity, to be honest. And there's definitely times where I am cognizant of my image and portrayal, because like I want people to accept drag, and I want people to understand drag and take the time to have it in their life if they're interested in it. So I definitely like, it is a decision that I make. I think as a public figure, this happened to me very recently, so it's kind of top of mind. But I got announced as one of the hosts for the Vancouver Pride Parade. Woohoo! Really,
Congratulations!
Very exciting. Thank you. Very exciting. And
play soundboard here. Lighting on the soundboard.
Baby, you were born this way. Oh no, that's copywritten.
We can play 3 seconds of anything.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Anything.
And so basically it was announced on like City News, and I thought, okay, it makes sense, a drag queen hosting a Pride Parade, like that's something that you would put on the news. And the comments, oh my gosh, they were so aggressive, like the same kind of, groomers and crazy, all these accusations, and people telling me to end my life, and people messaging me all these mean things. And it was really crazy. I was like, whoa, like
For Pride?
a drag queen hosting a Pride Parade really gets you in a knot, hey?
They're like,
and it was shocking and almost disheartening in certain ways, because it was here, like it was a Vancouver local. Luckily I posted about it, and then we overtook it with positive comments, which was really nice. The community really like stood up for me and backed it, and we definitely like flushed it out. But in one way I kind of was like, I have such a thick skin with stuff, being like a quote unquote public figure. So I was like, I'm kind of glad that like I could get these like horrible threats and mean comments in one way, because like if that had happened to me not being a performer or on a television show or whatever, I feel like that could really like screw people up. It's really harmful. So I just like, it makes me sad that like anyone has to take the brunt, but I would rather be the person taking the brunt than, I don't know, someone else, to be honest.
Have you had any people switch up on you because of your fame and your success? And names and
I have, I think certain relationships have changed for sure. 100%. I think I've become a lot more guarded in some ways. And I'm a little bit more introverted than I ever was. Like I really enjoy being alone because or alone with my partner, I should say. Because I just spend so much time out and about. But yeah, there's definitely been some relationships that have changed. I've found people, won't really ask me like things about me. They'll like, even like close, like high school friends or something will only message me about like drag things or the show or whatever. And they don't really want to like maintain that same relationship. Or they'll just be like, their phones will go up right away when we're hanging out or whatever. I've had to, adjust some relationships for sure. Which, I don't know, kind of part of it, I guess.
Going back a little bit to, like people are always worried about how people perceive them. How do you build confidence in those scenarios where like, are you ever concerned about what other people are thinking of you?
Oh, 100%. I think that any performer is like, it's always top of mind. Perception and, oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
The hair's not compatible with the headphones.
Don't worry, it's not a boob.
Wow.
Darn.
I think perception is definitely something that I think of. I think when you're in a job and career that is so based on the image that you yourself create, like this person I have created. I have executed, I have, worked on. So I think that's definitely like a concern of mine all the time, is how people perceive me.
How do you build confidence? Do you have anything that helps you? Do you picture people in their underwear? Do you know?
I definitely would not say that I'm like not a confident person. I'm very confident, I think. But I think that confidence comes with, I don't want to say like being calculated, but being aware of how I present. I think that I don't give like 1,000,000% of myself to the public sphere. Like I'm not, recording 24/7. I definitely choose what I share and what I want to share. And I think that allows me to keep a close like hold on my core. And that is where my confidence comes from, is really like who I am inside. And that's sort of like the base of everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're just such a fantastic performer. I thought maybe you could give us some tips so that we can become better podcast hosts, maybe, and take some of these things to the parallels.
Just stop slouching.
Okay.
Phones on silent. When it comes to like entertainment field of things, I think the best advice that I can give is, if you're like hosting or talking to like any group, is to really believe that you're only talking to like one person. That's always what I say to like newer performers or newer hosts, whatever. So I'm like, don't think that you're standing in front of 2,000 people. Pretend like you're just having a conversation, like one-on-one. And those make the best hosts. When you're like, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. Like, that's really the kind of like interaction that people relate to the most.
That's super good advice. I wish I knew that. Like
so do you find yourself just looking at the same person, or are you still, you're kind of like tricking yourself? There's one person here, but you're sharing your gaze.
I feel like I go in between. Like I'll choose one person and then I'll choose another and then I'll choose another. And I kind of bounce around.
Have you ever had to deal with hecklers at all, or just that audience member that's way too loud?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like in the club scene.
Yeah.
You have people like walking up on stage, and sometimes people will like grope you, and sometimes people can be very inappropriate. Luckily, I'm kind of an aggressive person, like physically.
You don't come off that way.
But when I'm very like in the sense that like I'm very aware of my body, and like I don't like people coming into my personal space. So if someone does that or like crosses a line, like I have no, like I will definitely like get them out of there.
Kick some ass.
Yeah. Confident person.
For the people that are less forward, do you have any like go-to defense for like hecklers or that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that anytime someone is like giving you a hard time, it's based on like insecurity. So if you can give it back to them and not stoop to their level in the way of like, but making them sort of feel, knock them down a peg. I think that's the easiest thing, because 99% of the time they'll just get red and then be like, because they usually think that you're not going to do anything and that they have that sort of like dominance over you. But if you can like assert your power, that's kind of the way to win.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
There's a crossover here with stand-up comedy. Are you a fan of stand-up comedy at all?
I mean, I feel like I've watched a couple of sets.
Okay.
But I don't think I wouldn't say I consume it too much. But that being said, there is definitely parallels. I think that like drag performers are kind of like a Jack or Jill of all trades. They're stand-up comedians, they're seamstresses, makeup artists, dancers, everything.
Yeah. I feel I've watched a lot of seasons of Drag Race now, and I feel I'm like, this is the hardest reality show.
It's
like,
everything.
In terms of when you look at like cooking reality shows or whatever. Totally. Like it's so, you have to be so multi-talented to do well.
Yeah.
Right. And like, there's no training or school to do it. You're all just self-taught, right?
Oh my gosh. Drag queen school. Ding, ding, ding.
New show.
Wow.
Did anything you learn at Kwantlen, help you out at this point in your life?
Actually, yes.
Yeah?
Actually, 100%. So I was in school to
fashion.
No, it was for graphic design.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I actually use it a lot with my own marketing and brand deals and photo editing and all that kind of stuff.
Among Us.
Yes, literally.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, I use it a lot in my own like decks and sort of like brand creation. So it's kind of a cool skill to have, because you have to be because you're basically selling yourself a lot of the time. So to be able to have that skill set is actually really useful.
They do have a fashion program there. That's quite well known at Kwantlen.
I should have been in that. Maybe I would have done better in the episode.
Half maybe.
Now, if they had a Photoshop challenge, I would have slayed.
Where do you stand on, because you went to university, you dropped out, where do you stand on encouraging people to stay in school or follow their passion, you know, because
just cross-dress and everything will be okay. No, I think that life is, you know, so short in so many ways. And I think that I'm a very opportunity-based person. And when an opportunity literally of a lifetime came knocking, that was my path. But I'm not going to say it happens like that for everyone. I think that there's obviously certain life paths where like staying in school and getting the degree could have happened to me. And that could have been the journey that I took. And, you know, I could have been doing some design on a Friday afternoon instead of wearing this gown here with all of you. But I really just think that life is too short to not be happy with what you're doing in every moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that was really nice.
It's true, though.
Get that up in the background. It's true.
Yeah, any interest in other reality shows?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Jason, you stood in the line to apply for
Big Brother?
Big Brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried it a couple times.
A couple times.
Would you ever go on like a Big Brother or like Amazing Race or?
Okay, so they just announced 2 queens actually from Canada's Drag Race on Amazing Race.
I saw that. Yeah,
Extremely
really?
iconic. Yes, I don't know whether they're going to be competing in drag or how much of the drag element there is in it, but they were on Canada's Drag Race.
Oh,
both.
who is it?
Kimora Amor and Anastasia.
Oh,
yeah, Anastasia.
Another friend of ours, Derek Gerard, and his friend Jazz Paul are on this series.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this season as well. Yeah,
that's so cool.
I'll definitely be watching.
I don't know. Reality TV, I'm not sure. I think if the opportunity came up, like I said, I'm an opportunity person. If someone came knocking, I probably wouldn't say no.
All right. Jeff Probst
But
knocks on
nothing
your
right
door and asks you to be on Survivor. Are you saying yes?
I feel like I would be so bad on Survivor. I would. I was actually talking about Amazing Race with my partner, and my partner was like, "Oh my God, it would be so fun to go on Amazing Race with you." And I was like, "I would be so bad at it."
Why?
I just don't know if I have those, like, I don't know, I have a lot of skills. 100%, but I feel like I get really like
the
like,
quick decision making.
I don't know that I feel like that's where I would struggle.
That's what breaks people down.
Yeah.
Directions, driving,
and I'm so bad at directions.
Oh yeah,
I have no sense
you might
of
be
direction.
terrible at Amazing Race.
I would be bad at
Yeah,
it.
you might be bad.
I've also never done an escape room, and I really want to do an escape room,
Oh.
but film it in drag because I think it would be so funny.
Yeah.
Right?
I would definitely be down to do an escape room if you want to go.
I've never done one before.
It's super fun and
It's
also it's hard.
Very
It's
hard. And there's always a microphone in the corner where the people who run the store, they're giving you hints because they're just looking at you in a camera.
Okay, is that a YouTube video that we should shoot?
Oh, absolutely.
We could turn this space into an escape room. Well,
And
You would
actually,
have the one up. You know exactly what everything is.
we actually locked all the doors today.
Yeah.
And,
No, this is why you brought me to North Van.
Is this in Richmond? I'm unfamiliar.
yeah, exactly. Should we play another game?
Yeah, I think we should play another game.
I would love a game.
It's a game we play every podcast called This
or
or That.
Okay.
So, Kendall, you're going to have to choose between 2 radically different options, this or
That.
Do you understand the rules?
I think so.
All right, Alonzo,
Do I have
play
to give an
that.
explanation or it's a one-word thing?
No.
Yeah, play how it lies.
You do you.
Question 1. Lip syncing or singing?
Lip syncing.
Question 2. Corsets or heels?
Heels.
Bad wig or bad makeup?
Bad wig.
Kitten heels or platform sandals?
Platform sandals.
Not knowing the lyrics or not knowing the choreography?
Not knowing the choreography.
Bodysuit or gown?
Bodysuit.
Snatch game or rusical?
Rusical.
Lady Gaga or Madonna?
Lady Gaga.
Acting challenge or design challenge?
Acting challenge.
Wig reveal or outfit reveal?
Outfit reveal. These
Rihanna
are
or
good questions.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
Beyonce. Come on.
Yeah, we knew that.
I have a Beyonce tattoo on my arm that they had to blur out on the show.
Oh, the editor is just
That costs
loving
a lot
that.
of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Hip pads or snatched waist?
Hip pads.
Death drop or splits?
Drop.
Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Junction or pump jack?
Junction.
Chloe or Kim?
Kim.
Kendall or Kylie?
Okay, I actually think Kylie.
Ooh.
Oh my God, the twist I didn't expect.
I know, me too.
The pressure cooker. Lip sync to Run the World or Crazy in Love?
Run the World.
Girl group or solo?
Solo.
Old Cher or young Cher?
I'm not gonna say old Cher. I'll say vintage Cher.
That is a much nicer way to say it.
Yeah.
And finally,
Ooh.
Sashay Away or Shantae You Stay?
I guess Shantae used to.
Yeah, there you go. And that is another edition. That's This or That. Good job.
That was really fun. Those were very specific. I love those.
Yeah, we had to go a little deep, but yeah, I think
That was really good.
I got a question, guys. What's a death drop? I'm unfamiliar.
It would be like
going
a
back
dip.
to the lingo.
It would be like a dip. Technically, is the thing. It's like a voguing term. I can't actually do it, so I won't demonstrate. But you basically like kick one leg straight, and then the other one folds in, and then you like drop down. You would see like a good example would be like Laganja, maybe.
Yeah.
She does a lot of them.
anytime I see one, I'm like, oh, I'd blow both of my knees out. My back would explode. Like, it
Oh yeah,
is-
great. Lots of videos of it.
Oh yeah, pull one up here, please.
Yeah, is it the hardest? Is it the most visual, or is it the hardest? Like, what is?
I think it's just something that came through. Like, oh, there, the first one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you would probably blow your ACL, Jay.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
both of them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a bum knee. I injured myself performing a few years back at BC Place, actually, which was totally worth it.
Yeah.
But I actually have a bum knee, so that move does not work for me, or would not work for me.
Not at all.
Did you hurt yourself like mid-show and you couldn't?
Oh yeah, there's
get
actually
up from
a video of it. Yeah, so I was performing at the Rugby Sevens.
Oh,
Which
nice.
was so sick.
That's an awesome.
It was the first drag queen ever to do it. They have had a couple since, but I was actually the first one here, which was really awesome. But I did to Run the World, actually. Yes. And I did a cartwheel, but I put too much pressure and basically I fell on my knee. And you can see in the video, I think it's on my Instagram, but you can see the knee kind of goes, and then I stand up, and it's never actually fully healed.
Oh goodness! You
I
do
know.
physio for that, or
I am in physio even to this day. I literally went yesterday at 9 a.m. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Drag is intense.
My goodness.
Yeah. Drag, you're throwing your body around, and yeah. But it's worth it. But no dips
also,
for me.
have you ever gone in touch or had attention from Kendall Jenner?
No, I'm waiting
No.
for an ND. I'm waiting for a cease and desist. Yeah.
You can just claim parody law, I believe.
Okay, great. Good
Yeah.
to know. Thank you.
Yeah, Dave's a lawyer, so
Okay, awesome.
Just refer to this clip and
No,
we're all
but
good.
funny enough, so there is, I actually am forgetting his name, but Food God. I think Jonathan Chebin is his name. He's like a friend of the Kardashians. Anyways, one time he actually posted something and he tagged me as her, and he has like millions of followers. And I screen recorded it right away because I thought it was so funny. And I messaged him back and I was like, LOL, you tagged a drag queen by accident. And obviously he deleted it right away. But I put the video on TikTok, the screen recording of him tagging me as her, and it went viral. Like a couple million views.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like she has seen.
So maybe she had. So that was my one thing. Maybe she saw that and then was like, "Oh, I don't know if she looked into the profile or anything. Who knows?"
Oh, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
I'm a
too.
believer.
Yeah. She would know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a play on words. I wouldn't say like I like Kendall Jenner. I think she's like beautiful and whatever, but I wouldn't say I'm like #1 fan or whatever. It more just came from my name actually being Kenneth. So my name out of drag is Kenneth. So it was like Kendall was like a play on that.
Did you come up with your name?
My name, yes, but Kendall was a nickname that I actually had in high school. So people would call me like Kendall or Kendall for like many, many years. And then when I started drag, I basically just wanted, play on words. And, obviously I'm playing with gender and all that kind of stuff. So Kendall Gender was created. Yeah.
So where can people follow you? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, but it's not super active. But
Okay.
there is a YouTube channel that I started in 2020 actually of all those quarantine videos. But yeah, basically on all social media platforms at Kendall Gender or some sort of variation of such things. I think I have every single one that you would have: Twitter, Snapchat,
LinkedIn.
MySpace.
yeah, TikTok, all that kind of
Calendly.
stuff.
You signed up for Calendly?
What's that one?
Oh, that was the guy who called us. He's trying to get us all on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
great.
the planner. Don't
Do you,
worry.
do you have a SpeakPipe account?
A speak pipe? I can't say I do. I spent
No one-
hours hiding my pipe this morning.
No one has a SpeakPipe
I
account.
was
Dave.
joking.
Come on.
I was trying to tee up a joke. and it
Yeah.
worked.
Okay. Well.
It's a service we use. People call in.
Oh,
And they
They
leave
leave a
voicemails.
voicemail.
So if you could call in and leave us a voicemail,
We would love it so
noted.
much.
I have a Cameo account, which
Oh.
people can get like videos,
We love
personalized
Cameo.
messages for me.
Perfect.
So one step up from the voicemail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like doing cameos?
I love doing that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes
What-
they're so cute. They're like birthday messages. Sometimes they just want to like talk. I actually get a lot of like uplifting ones, which is really nice. Like people are like, "Hey, I'm kind of struggling today. I just want like some words of encouragement," which I think is so cool
For themselves.
for themselves. And then
wow.
it just it's a really cool kind of connection to the fans. Because sometimes social media can be a little bit more disconnected, but this is like a personal video just directly to them. If I could get a video from Beyonce, honey, I would. She's not on Cameo though.
That would be an expensive cameo.
Yeah.
It might be like
Yeah.
$10,000
Yeah,
for her to
Oh yeah.
fart
Yeah,
on
yeah.
camera, maybe. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Is that?
I
That's
mean,
it.
I guess so. I don't
my
know.
gosh, that
Unless
was so
You can
cute.
stay longer if you want.
Yeah.
I like that game.
I mean, we
Yeah.
did shut the doors, so we got to figure out how to get out of
God.
here for the next hour.
Jumping out the window.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on this weekend for you? Anything exciting? It's Canada Day tomorrow.
Not celebrating that for sure. But I don't have any shows on this weekend. I'm just actually chilling. Yeah, I am just chilling. I have been going all Pride Month from June 1st up until literally a few days ago. So yeah, I'm honestly just gonna chill out for a little bit, and then I start up again next week. Going to Tacoma.
Tacoma.
In Washington.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tacoma Dome.
Yeah, at the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah, I'll hurt my knee again.
Oh no.
no
we don't
more.
want that.
No. Well, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah.
Yee, thank you for having me. This was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, all you chuthers out there listening, thank you for making it to the end. And if you enjoyed today, write us a nice little review.
Or
on
leave a
iTunes.
voicemail.
Or a voicemail.
Or leave us a voicemail.
Speakpipe.com/feeding off each other. We want to hear from you. That's all, folks. Is that all?
Is that
I
all?
feel like I'm missing something.
It does seem like you're missing
I don't
something.
know.
Like,
We should have
subscribe.
like a RuPaul song as we leave, maybe.
Okay, we can do that for 15
For 3
minutes.
seconds.
Who cares?
I got nothing.
That was good. The laugh was good.
And
The laugh
as
was good.
always,
And as always,
What a tongue twister that is.
Down, I'm trying.
No.
no,
Bye-bye.
no.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Feeding Off Each Other. Please subscribe for more great podcasts.